As Christians, we are island dwellers, surrounded by a polluted sea that continually beats upon our shores. This presents a problem that tugs at us day and night. In our tropical seasons and our fertile seasons, as well as in parched, barren times, how can we insulate ourselves from the world without isolating ourselves from people? How can we stay pure when the world's contaminated waters constantly lap upon the beaches of our lives? Many believers skirt this problem by giving in. They leave the purity of their islands and they dive into the world's sea. In 1 Corinthians chapter 5, we read about a member of the church at Corinth who had done just that. He had surrendered to corruption's siren's call, and he plunged into the sea of scandalous sin. In this passage, Paul rebukes not only this man's sin, but the Corinthians' sin as well. The Corinthians were proud of their too liberal tolerance, which blinded them to the need for a reprimand. Paul shows them the seriousness of this complacency, and he teaches them that true love is tenacious, especially in the face of a scandal. A question that arrives upon our shore for each one of us is, how do you view sin? Like the Corinthians, do you shrug it off arrogantly, or do you see it as God sees it? Do you let it break into your heart? When I think about leaven, I think about on the day before the Passover feast, the law said that a Jew must light a candle to search the whole house for leaven, and that every bit must be cast out. Have you tried to enjoy the feast of fellowship with Christ before taking a candle and examining your heart for sin? Even small sins, because sin, like leaven, can start out small, but it will eventually permeate everything it touches. So do as the Jews did. Hunt down that sin and repent of it. Ask God to purify you so you can start celebrating the feast of new life with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth. When it comes to correction and discipline, the question always arises, who should we discipline? And many of us are trying to clean up the world's fishbowl when all God asks us to do is to fish. Jesus says, "Follow me, and I'll make you fishers of men," not cleaners of fish bowls, but fishers of men. So if you've been spending your time trying to scour the world, put down your scrub brush for a while and pick up your fishing pole and go for the fish. The Lord is going to clean the fishbowl. Our job is to be fishers of men. Christian discipline is strictly a family matter. It's to be carried out by believers and for believers. But church correction should never have to occur if Christians would keep their private worlds centered around the Lord rather than themselves. So are your toes a little bit wet from playing innocent games in the polluted sea around you? Or are you soaked head to toe from riding its waves? As long as you're on this side of eternity, it's not too late to dry off and plant your feet firmly on solid ground.